Wheel cylinders were literally blown out of it. It was gone. They wouldn't do it anymore. There wasn't a brake one left.
We've got the Nailhead Special up on the rack today. You remember last video, we had this thing going down the road after pulling it out of the field. Yep. Okay, look, we took it down the road. We barely made it, but we did make it. And after Bird pulled it up on the trailer, we realized that was the end of that trip.
You know, nobody believes that that wasn't staged. That was real. That's exactly what it was. And I will tell you, it went as far as it would go, but it sure was a blast.
It was dumping tranny fluid.
Oh man, was it dumping
The brakes
fluid.
were completely gone. Every wheel cylinder had blown out. And
coolant dumping out of it. It was done. Taking a minute to kind of go over it and look at it and see if we can figure out what we're going to do with it next. And some of the maintenance things we need to take care of. Pulled all the drums, put new wheel cylinders on all 4 corners. We're putting new hoses on it. And I'm going to get the brakes all cleaned out and adjusted so they'll actually work. And then we're going to start working on some of the other maintenance things. I've got some new tires for it now, so we can have some good rubber underneath it. A couple of projects. One of them will be we're working on putting shocks on it. We got rear shocks that are knee shocks. We'll have to show you what those are. They don't work none, as we commented last week. This thing was just bouncing all over the road. So it is just so hot. And I have to make a comment for our cool boss over here. That thing works so nice. We're just so happy to have this. We got to tell you a story. These grease zerks on this thing, it'd been so long since they had taken any grease, they didn't want any. So we took the torch to them and talked them into it. Warm up the grease zerks, they'll actually loosen up the old crusty grease. Then now they'll accept it. So we got lucky, everything got grease in the front end. And you got to know how many grease zerks there is. You know, everywhere there's grease zerks on this thing. It's just amazing. Compared to new cars don't even have any anymore. They've eliminated them. They figure that just when something's wore out, throw it away and get another one. Well, here it is, 1954, and it's still going. So that's amazing, huh? So we took care of that. There was some comments about our transmission leaking last week, and it's dumping right out the front here, right out the pump seal. So we're going to end up separating this to fix that. So that'll be a project to come. Just a quick comment right here on top of the transmission. You see what's left of our rat's nest we had up there. Last week Frog was complaining. We were driving down the road and there was flames leaping out on his leg, and he was claiming fire, fire, fire. This is why, because all this up there and all the transmission fluid. But anyway, like I said, we got hoses taken care of on it, so we got coolant leaks fixed. And like I said, we got new wheel cylinders and everything back here now. I'm working on some shocks. That's the next little project here. And we got new rubber. You see down here, we got some new rubber for it, so that'll make it roll down the road a little nicer. So just a couple projects. This torch set was actually built, or at least the dolly for it, was built by my grandfather. And our father inherited it, and now I've inherited it. So it's 3rd generation on it.
Is it 100 years old?
Pretty close, I'll tell you what. I'm sure that's old Model T, Model A front end right there. So we're gonna put some shocks on this, and I'm gonna go ahead and just relieve these just a little bit right here so we can mount the shock up there, then we'll mount it to the back here. That way we can kind of get this little bit.
The holes we drilled right there?
Yeah. Somebody will probably be offended by this because this car is 100% original. It is so amazing, but knee shocks, they're fun, but they're also expensive, and I'm not going to worry about that. I'll just add some other ones that we can do. Okay, little moss. Now we got a pair of shocks back here. I still don't know how we did that trip. I just don't know how it made it. But
yeah, it was a lot of fun.
But it was a lot of fun. It's the other thing, it's got a stud that's got a line up on it. I like that. It's kind of interesting, huh? And this thing uses bolts and not nuts. But here's another thing we got for it. We got the correct battery for it.
This one's negative.
Yep.
That one's positive.
Okay, we're good.
Just had to have another pair of eyes for you.
Yeah. That's made for when you push the gas all the way to the floor, it starts it. I think I'm going to just bypass it and put a starter button inside. Listen to this. I love these old ones. Hey, look at this.
Got some jocks?
That's more like it.
It would have been a lot nicer last time we were driving this thing if it had been washed out first, and if it had brakes.
Well, that's just a convenience thing, you know.
Frog and Bird here. We're looking at this 1952 Studebaker.
Studebaker Commander.
And this is a friend of the old bird. And we're going to take a peek and see what it's about.
This is one of our subscribers' cars, believe it or not. And he offered to let us take a look at it. And I said, let's do that. Let's take a peek.
We're excited to be here.
Yes.
We always love a good Studebaker. And my favorite thing about a Studebaker car, and one identifying characteristic, if you're seeing one going down the road, when you see the vehicle, if you're not sure whether it's coming or going,
you're not sure,
you got yourself a Studebaker.
That's a Studebaker. You know, this is a 52, and the 51s and the 50s, you know, they had a little more of a bullet nose. They were even worse than this one. But look at the back of this thing. Look at that window. It looks like a B-17 windshield, doesn't it?
I'm telling you. For me, this car, I actually like this is the front more than the actual front. I love that cockpit.
Cool looking, huh?
Yeah, it's a cockpit looking windshield right there. Yeah, B-17 as the old bird said. Studebaker Commander.
How you like that?
That is very impressive to see a V8 tucked in the front of this vehicle.
This was one of the first V8s for Studebaker, and this thing was quite something else. I think they were 224s, I think is what this was. It's just a little V8. But for that day and time, look at this, overhead valve. You know, you think about what was going on in 1952 in the major big three, so to speak. You know, and here's this little tiny Studebaker company.
That's about the year that Ford was converting over off their flatties.
Yeah, they're coming off the flats.
Just barely. And I'm not sure. I know 50 they were still running the flatties.
Yeah, 52 somewhere, 53 they changed over right there.
Yeah.
But nonetheless,
look at this engine compared to that.
Well, these cars did very well for what they were because they were really light. Buy a Studebaker and just run it everywhere, and it was fun to drive. The V8 engine.
Well, let's fire it up, old bird, and go for a tour.
Well, that's going to be a project. Let's see what we can do, though.
Did a shot of ether, bird? Nothing like a good old 6-volt system. We didn't even have to engage the 12-volt system.
No, I was hoping we didn't have to.
Roll that seat forward and let's talk about it.
That's just in case. Now remember, if you go 12 volt on a 6-volt system, you only do it for starting real quick, because it will let the smoke out of stuff.
So your friend here, he has an arrangement where
just in
on
case.
A bad morning, a cold one or something, he can give it a little boost.
Look at this over. This is good.
Here we go.
Yeah, isn't this fun?
This car runs so smoothly and so quietly.
I can't tell it's running when we come to a stop. I keep thinking it's dying.
No, this is one quiet machine.
I gotta give a comment about these wing vents in the window. You see how this rolls up and becomes part of the wing vent? There's nothing here. Then you open up the wing vent. Isn't that something?
This is a good looking dash, and I love this prominent V8 on here. Kind of looks like how Ford used to do it.
Yeah. I guess that was such a big deal back in those days. You know, if you had a V8, considering that so many were inline sixes.
Bird called that the B-17 cockpit. And I agree, a B-17 or even a DC-3, you know?
Yep, same idea with that
Yeah.
coupe windshield. Like I said, it looks like it's going down the road backwards, you know? That's just what it looks like.
This old car really does have a tremendous amount of pickup.
You know, it really surprises you. You didn't expect that out of a little 224.
No, it would run right along with the Buick. That old Nailhead would outdo it, but this thing would run right with it for a while.
Yes, it will. This is where we come to do the drag races. How do you think this old Studebaker will do?
Let's see. Let's see what it takes. Light it up, old bird.
I'm not going to light it up, but
Oh.
we'll go.
Let's see.
You know?
We're up to 35. You're pushing right on up to 50. That's pretty good. This is a fine running machine.
You know, back in the day, there was a lot of ride.
Yes, it was. It still is.
We don't want to find nobody out here that don't like us.
I got news for you. We don't have to come all the way out here to find people that don't like us.
Yeah,
we can
no.
find those in town. That's a very nice friend that let us borrow this
Yeah,
ride.
it was really good of him to let us borrow his car and drive it around a little bit. Granted, the poor old thing's been sitting a while. It needed to get out. It's a time machine, you know? Was that fun?
That was a great ride.
That was so cool.
If you're looking for something to do, get yourself a Studebaker, go cruising.
That'll keep you busy anyway.
If you like that video, make sure to check out the GoBros YouTube channel where we have many more videos just like this. And if you want to see our newest adventures, make sure to click subscribe so you'll get notifications.